You're watching E.T.N. Entertainment-related new, entertainment-related discussion. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to have a discussion about this Star Wars war going on right now. Over the last couple of weeks, I have been really taken back and surprised at the amount of content on my YouTube homepage that involves people just talking about Star Wars and this whole battle between Lucasfilm and the fans. And I mean, there's got to be at least, and I've been watching these videos, you know what I mean? I've been watching them, and there's at least that I can remember 7 channels, all basically talking about the same thing every day, live streaming the same topic every day, and they all intertwine, they all collaborate with each other. And there's some of the more notable ones like Geeks and Gamers. I've been watching Jeremy and some of his videos where he makes some pretty good valid points. I think World Bullshitters is one of them. I don't have a list here. I actually have an article that I'm going to refer to in this video that I'm looking at. But if those names sound familiar, then you know who I'm talking about. And interesting stuff. And I agree with them on many fronts, in terms of what Lucasfilm is doing with the fan base. Now, you guys know I tend to try and be as down the middle and as fair and as unbiased as possible. And I am, or I can't say that I am now. I once was a very, very huge Star Wars fan. I can't say that I'm as big a one now as I used to be. And it's not because of the prequels, and it's not because of what's going on now. I just kind of, I don't know, drifted away from it, I guess. Naturally, it's been organic. It hasn't been motivated by anything. So I'm looking at this, and look, I agree with many of the sentiments of these guys, but I'm going to be fair here. I got to be fair, because as much as these channels make valid arguments, they make a lot of sense, and they communicate their opinions and their views very clearly. Unfortunately, they're in the minority in terms of not how they feel. We've already seen that the majority of people feel the way they feel, but they're in the minority in terms of how they are communicating their feelings. And that, I think, is the core problem here. Now I can sit here and I can beat up on Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy and all that stuff, but I don't feel the need to do that because there's enough of that being done. I would only be repeating what these guys are saying. And once again, like I said, I do agree with them. But there's also a side of the fandom that is insanely vicious. Insanely vicious. And that's the portion. Now, I'm not saying this to defend Lucasfilm. There is no defending them. But what I'm saying is, this is something that's happened well before Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm, and that team of Lucasfilm right now got into the picture. In some ways, and I know I might get blasted for this, but this is the truth. In some ways, the fans kind of deserve this shit. And I'll tell you why. People destroyed George Lucas for those prequels. I mean, he said it himself. He quit because he couldn't take the criticism anymore. And he didn't like the fact that people or fans or anybody was trying to tell him how it should be done or what it should be done. Now, that's not to sit here and say that those movies were great. They weren't, But now, when I see some of these videos and I see some comments, I'm starting to hear people now kind of go back and say, my God, the prequels weren't really that bad now compared to Last Jedi and all this and all that. I agree. I think Last Jedi and it was horrible compared to the prequels. But even still, and look, again, that's no excuse for Lucasfilm to do what they're doing. It's not. You should not treat your fans the way they're being treated. However, there's only so much anyone can take in terms of the people, even if you're servicing somebody. Like if I'm working, back in the day when I was still in college and I worked at Walmart and I was an assistant manager, yet serve the customer, right? That was my thing, sir. And it's not that much different now. Even working in IT, even though I work with these people on a daily basis, in some ways they're like customers. When their machines malfunction and they go down, I have to go in there and make sure I get it back and up and running for them as soon as possible. And sometimes people get a little hostile, a little impatient, a little frustrated. And you have to mitigate that. You got to understand their point of view and make sure you take care of them. That's not to say that if somebody walked in or walked up to me and they were being a complete prick, that I wouldn't give them lip. I would, and I have. It's no different in this in what's going on here. There was this John Boyega incident that happened, I think, the other day, and where he said to a fan, "We don't care," and it was an exchange on Twitter, which I said to myself at some point, I have to start tweeting and get more involved in Twitter. I'm glad I haven't. I'm never doing Twitter. That place is a fucking cesspool of shit. It's just people. It's nothing ever good there. Nothing ever good on Twitter. And I don't agree with what he did. I think that was bad form. You're an entertainer. You entertain people. It's a form of service. And when you serve the people who pay to see you, there is a little extra you have to do to kind of tolerate any kind of criticism and hostility. But the criticism and hostility delivered by the Star Wars fans can be vicious to a whole new degree. And I can understand the pushback from the creators. Now, that's not to say that their pushback is valid in the sense of assuming that all fans are misogynist or bigots or whatever. That obviously is wrong. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm a Star Wars fan. I think Star Wars The Last Jedi was garbage. I was essentially shit on a stick. In fact, it stunk on ice. How's that? Because obviously, it was that bad. I'm not white. And I grew up in a family full of women. I love women. I tell you that right now. Some of you know I'm in the middle of also writing a book right now, which is the other reason I've been out of it. And my book, the protagonist is a female. The main character in the story is a female. So, yeah, I don't fall into any of those categories. And a lot of the fans don't fall into those categories. In fact, there are a lot of female fans who don't like what's being done with Star Wars right now because they liked how they became fans because of how it was. So I just think it's a vicious cycle that's not going to end. And it's unfortunate because I look at all these channels, Geeks and Gamers and all that stuff, and they're communicating in such a way that I think if all fans communicated, they might see a different outcome. Maybe not 100% because I understand there's that SJW narrative that you guys already know how I feel about that. I'm just as annoyed by that as anything else. But again, that's something I don't really need to get into. I think that's been covered. If you're watching some of these channels that are discussing this on a daily basis, you guys already know that's being covered up and up. What I wanted to do here was try and kind of bring balance, so to speak, because I think it's coming from both ends. I think these channels are doing a good service. It's not them. It's the other fans that can freely say what they want to say because they know they're hiding behind a keyboard and know, if they can go out there and be vicious. Well, I mean, if that's how you're going to be, if I was in Lucasfilm's shoes, minus all the stuff that, the SJW and all that shit, why? Why would I want to, I wouldn't tolerate that shit either. If I'm making millions of dollars, all right, and I know this sounds wrong, but this is how they're thinking. I made this movie, okay? I've made millions of dollars. Why do I need to take your shit? I'm still going to be rich tomorrow. And that's wrong. It is 100% wrong. And I think they're feeling the pain from that from Han Solo, the Solo movie. But at the same time, if you want these guys to not push their narrative, which I agree with, I can't stand forcing politics into movies. But that's the world we live in now. Politics and entertainment have crossed in such a way, and it's not because of Trump. This has started since the beginning of and I'm not knocking Obama. What I'm saying is the entertainment industry moving into politics and vice versa started with Obama coming into presidency, and it's gone into Donald Trump's presidency. Because let's face it, Obama was a rock star. He was. Whether you like him or not, whether you didn't, it doesn't matter what your political views were. Obama was a rock star. Celebrities were all over the White House. He was all over TV, so on and so forth. And Donald Trump is no different. He's actually, it's funny because those two are very similar in terms of how their status in media in and of itself. You know what I mean? They both just attract so many people for different reasons. You know, so the entertainment industry and and politics crossing over to this degree, it's always been there since way back in the years, but it really hit its high and it continues to climb at the beginning of the Obama era, going into now the Trump era. Again, it's always been there. Politics and entertainment industry have always crossed, but not to this degree that it has in the last 10 years. You know what I mean? So I just think, and I know this is a long video. This is why I didn't want to put this as part of my normal vlog, because I knew this was going to be a long video, because I had a lot to say about this. Because I'm on the side of the fans who do not like the SJW push, do not like the way Lucasfilm is treating the fans, because I believe that when you're in the industry of service, and the entertainment industry is an industry of service, you're servicing the people by entertaining them in exchange for their money, you know. And when people give you money, you have to be able to tolerate and be able to take the criticism they throw at you. So, and the biggest criticism right now is that Lucasfilm is pushing a heavy social justice warrior narrative and shoving it down people's throats, and really taking Star Wars and really going away from what it really was. I'm there. I agree with that. However, the Star Wars fans have always been vicious. They have. There's no way around that. The Star Wars fans have always been entitled, spoiled, and very vicious. This is why Lucas quit. And now you guys are begging for him back. Think about that. You guys destroyed this man's, whole world back between 99 and 2005 with the prequel trilogy. Now you're seeing this happening to your beloved Star Wars, and you're wishing for him back. You guys asked for this. You asked for it. You asked for it. I know it's not a popular thing to say, but I'm going to keep it real. I'm not saying it's right. I never said it did. It's not. I'm with you. But you asked for it. That's the bottom line. I got to be fair here and call it like I see it. Yes, again, Lucasfilm is wrong. They should be treating their fans with more respect, because the fans are the ones who give you the resources and the finances to do what it is you do and to live a lavish life in your personal life. You know what I mean? But it's hard for anyone to feel motivated and to feel encouraged to do anything from an entertainment perspective if they're going to get destroyed for it every time they do. Then at that point, what do? You just put your hands up and say, all right, that's it, I'm done. And I think maybe that should be it for Star Wars. You know, it's just, maybe it was just all about, episode 4, 5, and 6. And that's fine, I personally, the prequels, I don't obviously don't like them as much as the originals, but I think there's certain elements in the prequels that make them very good. For example, The Phantom Menace was very heavy for me in terms of the politics they tried to involve. Sorry about that. But I thought the end battle between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul pretty much made the movie in and of itself. That, to me, was worth the price of admission. That was an epic fight. So, getting to see Yoda in episode 2 throw down for the first time, again, epic. And there's other things. I don't want to get into it. Again, this is already a long video, but I just want to say that I think these channels are doing a great job of really, really communicating what it is the core issue is with Lucasfilm. The problem is that not everybody's like them. Most of the people, a majority of the people who are communicating their displeasure with Star Wars and Lucasfilm are doing it. They have always done it very viciously, very, very nasty. And this is not new. This has been going on since back when Lucas did it. That's why he quit. He said it himself. He said it himself. So instead of people trying to learn and look at that, you don't have to like what's being done out there, but you don't need to go out there and call it like the guy that said that to John Boyega. What was it he said? Oh, he said to him, "Oh, I didn't think you'd something along the lines of I didn't think." I guess Boyega replied to him. He said to Boyega, because it was all about the whole Rose Tico incident with the actress and all that she left Instagram and all this stuff. And the guy said to John Boyega, "Oh, well, you got to admit though, she sucked, and you weren't that well, and you didn't do that well either." Now, here's the problem there. He didn't have to say you sucked. And this is the point I'm trying to make. Is he free to say that? Of course. Absolutely. Freedom of speech. Say it. But when you're already in what is a hostile environment in terms of the fans and the Lucasfilm and all that, when you criticize somebody, you don't have to say you sucked. You know what I mean? But that is what the internet allows you to do. See, if John Boyega and that guy were face to face, he would have never said that. Guarantee you. He would have used a different word. And I think that's where the problem is. Now, that's very light in tone. Even though he said you sucked, even still, I don't think, and he wasn't talking about John Boyega. He was talking about the lady who plays Rose Tico. And even that's very light compared to the real bad stuff that a lot of these fans say. So I think at the end of it all, it's just a vicious cycle that's not going to end, because Lucasfilm right now, I don't know what they're going to do. I do think Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. I did not go see Han Solo, not because of this whole thing. First, I just wasn't really interested. I think I told you guys in my stream, I wasn't very interested to begin with, and then when they pushed the whole narrative about Lando being pansexual, I said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm not going to go see this. If this is where they're going with this shit again." And it wasn't because of whether or not it was in the movie. I had a very strong feeling it wasn't going to be in the movie. That's why I was upset, because it's like, then why bring it up? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to force me to understand? Or what is it you're trying to force me to believe? Why mention this if it's not going to play a pivotal role in the film or with the character or within the story? And you're saying it just for the sake of saying it, to stir shit up, to push that, and that I'm not interested. I don't want to hear it. So that's what kind of turned me off to watching Han Solo. Number one, I just really wasn't that interested. And number two, when they started to deliver their narratives, I said that was it. So yeah, I think it's, again, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to stay in the fun and right now safe world of Marvel. I think Star Wars right now is just between the fans and Lucasfilm. It's unfortunate. But I think Lucasfilm needs to really focus on entertaining their customers and servicing their customers, all of them. It doesn't matter what color or race they are, what gender they are. The Force is not female. Never was. It doesn't have a fucking gender, okay? I can't believe they all wore shorts saying the Force is female. No. The Force does not have a vagina, and the Force does not have a penis. The Force is just the Force. But when you start doing shit like that, that's when you start alienating your core fan base. So, once again, for the umpteenth time, I completely 100% agree, and I'm on board with the fans who basically don't like this narrative movement being pushed. I agree with that. But the fans who are not doing YouTube videos, the fans who are on the forums all the time, if you guys ever want any chance, any chance of seeing Star Wars in the light that you once enjoyed, number one, you need to stop attacking viciously. Number two, you need to kind of accept change. And number three, don't be so spoiled. Okay? I have no problem with Luke dying in any of the new films. I just don't like the way it was done. But, you know, if you guys, again, you're free to do it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to. But what I'm saying is, if you keep delivering these vicious attacks, it's not going to get you anywhere. That's all I'm saying. But while you guys are figuring this out amongst you Star Wars fans, I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy my Marvel movies and my Godzilla movies, and I'll just leave you guys to fight it out. I just wanted to share my opinion that it's both sides. Both of you guys are just fucking killing each other, and I'm kind of glad that I kind of let Star Wars go. I just let it go some time ago, and looking at this now, I'm glad I did, because when I see my whole front page full, and these channels I'm not even subscribed. I just subscribe to Geeks and Gamers because I like Jeremy. I like the way he expresses himself. But I'm talking plastered with Star Wars videos about Solo and Solo and just all these videos about Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm and the fans and the war and all this and the boycotts. I'm like, holy fuck. I've never seen this much activity focused on one piece of entertainment that just insane. So I had to throw in my opinion because, like I said, it comes from both. It comes from both sides, you know. But I'm hoping that more people start to act like these YouTube channels that are discussing these topics. I'm not saying they're all. I haven't watched all of them, so some of them might be hostile. But from the ones I have seen so far, these guys are expressing themselves in a very respectful, cohesive manner. And if every fan can talk and express himself that way, I think you get a lot more done, you know? I'm big on free speech. I like to curse too and say my shit and all that. But when it gets to a point that you're getting people to literally quit doing what they love, and this is going back to George Lucas, maybe bring it down a notch. If you really love what it is they do and the joy they brought you in your life, then I think you need to bring it down a notch and understand that it's not always going to be what you want, you know? It's not always going to be what you want. It's not going to always be in your vision. But understand that people like George Lucas, when he did the prequels, he did it with passion in his heart, and he did the best he could to entertain you guys. And there's nothing wrong with saying something like, you know what, George, I didn't really like it, but I did like these. Because let's face it, everybody loved that Darth Maul fight scene at the end. So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, George, you know, I'm not a big fan of where you went with this, but I want to thank you for putting in the effort. Instead of saying, this is how it should be done, I don't agree with this, this is this and this. If it's getting to that point, you know what I mean? I know it's kind of crazy. It's kind of like you're telling people to and I don't like doing that, and I know that's what I'm doing right now, but when I see how crazy this is getting, and you hear someone say, I quit because of the criticism, most of these entertainers are pretty, you know, solid. You know, they'll brush off the criticism. So if it gets to a point where they feel like they got to walk away, man, that's some serious shit. That's serious. Maybe just kind of tone it down a bit. You know what I mean? Take it easy. Criticize all you want. You can criticize without using the F word. You can criticize without calling people names. You know what I mean? I guess that's what I'm basing on trade. I'm not trying to say not to criticize stuff. What I'm saying is you can do it in a respectful manner. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that it's getting ugly out there, man. It's getting pretty ugly. And I've never seen this. This is like... And I've been doing YouTube since 2013. I've had my moments, you know. I'm no... But holy shit. Like, it's getting nasty out there, man. So... I don't know. Again, this is a stupid long video. I'm probably going to have to cut this down, but woo, shit, man. Just take it easy, guys, man. Just, wow. And Lucasfilm, man, you need to stop pushing that SJW shit. It's really just, I don't care if you put gays and stuff in the movie, just have it be done organically. Don't push it. You know, don't force the issue. Have it done organically. You know, instead of taking Lando and trying to make him pansexual, just start a new character that has an important role in the story and make them pansexual. That's it. Simple as that. Nobody cares if you put gays or LGBT people in your movie. I think they like it to happen organically, number one. And number two, they don't want to shove down their throat. That's what I'm saying. Don't shove it down people's throats. Just let it happen organically. Have it become part of the story. That's it. That's all. Oh, man. Yeah, so anyway, that's more or less how what I have to say about that. I know, again, I'm not trying to tell people how they should criticize. Criticize the way you want. I just think the language is probably the best part of it that you might want to shift. And if you want an example of what I'm talking about, go watch all these Star Wars channels. Even Ben Shapiro, who is not he's not an entertainment vlogger. Ben Shapiro is a he's a commentator, political commentator who gives his opinions on daily politics and news. Even he ripped into Star Wars. You know what I mean? So that's a big deal. And he's a Star Wars fan. So I do think both sides are at fault. Just that the Star Wars fans, in my opinion, did most of their fucking up back when the original trilogy was, not the original, the prequel trilogy was released. And now it's kind of like they're reaping what they sow. That doesn't mean that Lucasfilm has an excuse to be doing what they're doing. They don't. But it's almost kind of like what goes around comes around. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. It's crazy. But hopefully those guys keep doing what they're doing. Hopefully things change for the better. We'll have to see. Anyway, I know this is a long video. It's likely it won't be as long once you guys see it because... No, it's not too bad. It's only been 29. I thought I was like moving in on an hour. So I'll try to cut it 10 minutes off this video because I know I repeated myself a couple of times. But, that's basically it. I just feel that, Lucasfilm is wrong. I think these guys are making valid arguments. I do think Star Wars should go from being pushed narratives to just about Star Wars. That's all people want. They want to see the lightsaber battles. They want to see their beloved characters. We're not going to be getting a lot of them back, or we never will, so we have to accept what's been done with them. But they still have an opportunity to salvage the trilogy with the 9th installment. Hopefully they do, and they just stop trying to push political narratives in the movies. This is horrible. There's no need for that. There's enough political talk on. That's why I like talking politics. I have my opinions, and I'm going to start expressing them on this channel. So if you don't like politics, just avoid those videos, because I have a lot of things that I want to say, and I just want to get them off and out there. You know what I mean? Just to say my piece, because it's really getting nasty out there, and that's why I never really did Twitter to begin with, and I felt that when I came back to doing videos on a regular basis back at the end of January, I said, I got to use Twitter more, and then for a little while there I was. But when you really dig deep into Twitter right now, it's a cesspool of shit. It's just not a place. Even Facebook. Like, a lot of you guys in the nation know, I have not been on the Facebook page very much the last couple of weeks. It's not only because of, going on all these work interviews and working on my book, but also because it's just not the greatest place to be right now. That has nothing to do with the nation. Obviously, I communicate with more than just those who are in the nation. But right now, social media is just... There's just no reason, in my opinion, outside of your immediate family and friends and the circles of people you like to talk to, there's almost no reason to be there. It's just very ugly right now. There's just tweets are going back and forth. Everything's just people fucking offending people and shit like that. It's real dumb. It's unfortunate. All because of everybody has political views. Instead of talking to each other and trying to communicate in civil ways, people are basically talking at each other. And because there is a bias out there in one direction over the other, there's a sense of unfairness when it comes to this communication, and the people who are at the receiving end of the hypocrisy in terms of it going more to one direction than the other. In this case, the left over the right. It's hard to communicate in a civil manner and when you're not getting treated equally. You understand what I'm getting at? So, but we'll discuss that in a whole separate video. Anyway, best of luck to Star Wars. Best of luck to these channels that are fighting the good fight. You know, they have a lot of good valid points that I hope their viewers and fans can take those points and communicate them as well, but in such a way that's a little bit more respectful. We already know Lucasfilms are being assholes about it, so this is a good opportunity to just kind of be a bigger person and just, yeah, just, this is one of those few times that I think people need to really, really kind of tone down the vicious attacks. It didn't work before with Lucas, and it's certainly not going to work now, you know, so, and this is coming from a person who likes to pretty much mouth off, you know. Even I know when I got to tone it back, you know, and I mouth off a lot. So, anyway, guys, that's it for this long vlog on Star Wars and all this nonsense going on. I just wanted to be fair and down the middle. So, good luck to you guys. Again, good luck. I'm probably not going to be watching Star Wars movies anymore. I'm really not interested anymore. I'm at least not nearly as interested as I used to be. Right now, I'm more focused on enjoying this Marvel run that's going on because it's not going to last forever. And the same thing with this Godzilla run going on because that's not going to last forever. So, anyway, guys, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Or you can click here to become an E.T.N. patron. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.